Petty revenge against a group of entitled people. This takes place back in 1971. It was Christmas Eve, and I was 18 working with a friend. I had just graduated high school that year. We worked in a gas station pumping gas in New Jersey. It had been snowing all day and there was about 4 inches or more on the ground. The station was on US Route 46 westbound about 10 miles from NYC. This is a 2-lane road in each direction with simple metal guardrail separating the east-west lanes. The owner of the station said we were not to do service calls as he was not insured for it. So around 8:00 p.m. we see this guy crossing the eastbound lanes hop the guardrail and walk into the station. This guy was dressed in very nice clothes. He told us he had a flat and asked could we fix it for him. My friend Mark said we were not allowed to leave the station. The guy started to beg us to please help them as they had a Christmas party to get to in NYC. I asked Mark if we should help the guy and Mark said if you want to do it then go ahead. I asked him how much to charge and he said $5. So, the guy agreed, and I threw a floor jack in my trunk, and we went over to his car. It was right across the highway in the entrance to a large car dealership. When I got out of the car there were 5 other people there all dressed in fine outfits. They reeked money. It was 3 couples. One woman started saying things like thank you, you're a lifesaver and such. One of the men said something I did not quite understand to the one who came to the station. He said, how much? The guy replied Afinsky. Now, I had never heard this word, but I knew that Fin was slang for 5 so I assumed that's what it was referring to. Well, then it happened, they stopped conversing in English and switched to German. This is where it gets interesting. As I mentioned, I had graduated high school about 6 months earlier after having had 4 years of B-level German, so I understood quite a bit of what they were saying. Basically, the conversation went like, this is crazy, it's too much. You could go down the street and pay half that much. Now, you might say why are they complaining about 5? I just looked it up and 5 in 1971 is over $38 today, so, yes, for that time it was expensive. So, I keep my mouth shut and do my work, just listening to conversation. I did not know any German curse words which was good for them because I would have stopped and left them there on the spot. I finished changing the tire and put everything away. They are still jabbering in German. I had decided what to do and very politely tapped the guy on the shoulder and said, excuse me, but can I have my 5 now in German? That resulted in complete silence from all of them. 6 people stared at me in shock, and it was like you could see them shrink into themselves as they realized I understood what they were saying. The woman who said you're a lifesaver said in English, oh, you understand German? I replied to her in German saying yes, I do. I could tell they were all very flustered about it. She asked me in English how to get to NYC and I gave her the directions in German. I wanted to twist the knife so to speak to push home how much German I understood. They paid me and as they were driving away the woman was sitting in the back seat looking out the window staring at me as they drove away. I was on cloud 9, I felt like I was hovering above the ground. I just cut 6 snooty entitled people off at the knees and did it by being polite with a smile on my face. It was glorious. Snoo Words 4839 says, nice. Character Tennis 241 says, 5 in 1971 probably filled your car tank in your stomach. I started driving in 1976 and I could fill my tank with 4. Those were large tanks back then. Homicidal Star Wars Cat says, sehr gut. Thanks for watching, I love you. Follow Reddit Echoes for more.